Hello everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Today I bring you something, well, a bit wacky. It is a set-based build. It is not yet completed, but because we died on hardcore, I just tried to push it as far as it could go for calling it today. We're still far from what we had planned, and we have a proper planner for it. And it is a melee Runemaster with Shattered Lance set. Melee Runemaster. So, where should we start? Let's go over the skills. So we have Mana Strike. Mana Strike is for mana recoup, because we still need to get some mana. That way you don't need to run mana regen. So we can just use Mana Strike to recoup our mana. We also have it on a cooldown, so we can use it through Runic Invocation. But we'll get to Runic Invocation. Then our main skill, Flame Reave. We are using Flame Reave as our main damage dealing skills. We go for the mana reduction and attack speed. We go for the frenzy. We go for the double hit. And then we go here to get flat crit and a crit multi. Ideally you can drop a point here later on the final planner. But since we don't yet have crit cap, we are using it. So we can guarantee crits. Then you can later on shift it to either more range or more damage. Still a bit up in the air in that regard. I would have to truly min-max it. Also very important, Rhythm of Fire. Because this is a very nice damage improvement for every 4th hit. And there's also the big range it deals. That allows you to do that. I've always liked Flame Reave, and it's the thing that would work what I'm trying to build here. Okay, I'll leave Invocation for last. Then we have Enchant Weapon. We go for the active duration and automation. You can numlock it and have a free point. I just don't do numlocking, so just have it automatically cast. We go for we get chill to get the added cold damage. If you want to level this is I'll go over the leveling part. Go for a flat added cold and increases melee cold damage, because that flat is very important for us. And then we go for the attack speed and the Almond Cleanse. Then after that we get Barrage. Barrage, we use it mostly because of this, more global cool damage. So whenever we pop Barrage, it has 5.7 cooldown. Pops a shield, and the shield lasts 2 seconds plus 2, so 4 seconds. While that shield lasts, we do 60% more cold damage. Yeah, 50% more from Elemental Weapon, 60% more from Ice Barrage, for cold damage only. Okay, and how do we deal with all of this, considering we are melee and we are not investing at all in cast speed? We use Runic Invocation. We have Runic Invocation spec'd as a movement skill. And then we go down here to set with a cooldown, because we are using cooldown, so we just invest into some cooldown reduction later. Get all the cooldown reduction possible. And we go for Immutable Order for one simple reason. Invocations have a lot of things that could be cast, right? And on this one, you're not really doing spell damage, so most of the spells are kinda useless. The one we are using, it's not though. It is Riowin's Fortress. It gives you ward, a ward shield, initial ward, and then gives you more ward based on your int, a bit more over time. So essentially, take it as a ward boost plus ward per second, while the shield lasts. If your ward gets depleted, then the shield blows up, and it stops giving you ward. So take that into consideration. It's just an extra, really. And here we go for the Runic Energy. Whenever we pop and Spell Cascade, whenever you use Invocation, it will use skills, random skills. As you can see, you regularly cast Runic Invocation with at least 12 unique energy. You also proc a random equipped non-channeling skill of the same element as each of the runes consumed. Effects consume this skill's mana cost and puts them on cooldown. So every 12 energy, it will pop a skill for us. As you can see, we have 36 energy currently. And that we go here for the runic energy accumulation speed. So whenever you use an invocation, the next invocation will accumulate fast. It will cause runic energy to accumulate faster, and we have the chance to repeat the invocation as well. That's just a bonus. I didn't really know what to do. And then here we go for this, so we can get the maximum triple max runic energy, and we also gain runic energy per mana spent. So here we have 12, with that we have 36. With 36 we can do 3 skills whenever you do runic evocation. And it will prioritize using a skill of the same type as the rune. We have cold, fire, cold. It will do cold, fire, cold, because it will ignore these two because they are not elemental. So what happens whenever we use runic invocation? This is how we use our skills without having to worry about it. And how we get a lot of damage coming in from the glacial. You see, damage is okay, nothing amazing. And I'll show you now why. Those are done. Here, no, passives first. There are more important things in passives to go through. So, this build, banks, the idea behind this build was using Shattered Lands and using this thing. You could get ward out of your health regen. I always found it curious and wanted to see if it could actually work. And then Shattered Lands, since it scales damage off, scales increased cold damage off your health regen, it would sync together with this. So kinda try to find a way to do a melee Runemaster, because it would make the most sense. It scales increased cold melee damage. As you can see here, increased melee cold damage per 10 health regen up to 1500. So every 10 health regen we get 5%. So we have 2000. That's 1000 cold damage increase. The idea is to get to 3000 to get the full benefit of the set. That was the plan. Maybe in the future I'll still finish this up, but it's not a priority currently because it died. So here we start. We'll go where we start. We have the mage spec, nothing all very usual: intelligence, ward retention, attack speed, very standard. Then you go towards Spellblade. We prioritize getting we get stack in Warden first. Then we prioritize getting Frozen Steel, because that flat cold damage is very important, since we are scaling all of our damage out of flat cold. And then we get Arcane Shielding, and finally we get the Fennel of Welrain. Later on I'll want to have this as well. We just can't really afford the points right now, so those single points, it's just a single point will make a hell of a difference, because then you'll be able to get up 16% 50% damage reduction instead of 10, but it also you need to stack it, like now where you do a hit and you have a permanent 10% reduction right away. Then we go on to Sorcerer. The reason we go on to Sorcerer first is so we can unlock Ice Barrage. And I'm talking for leveling, right? We go for the Mana Shell, then we prioritize the Mana Regen, and then we put the points to Mana Shell. I'm still considering if it's worth putting points here into ward retention, but I'm still not 100% sure on that, so we're not doing that for now. Might change it again. In the future, if I do, the planner will keep getting updated with any changes. And then we start going through Runemaster. We prioritize getting the crit, then we go for 5 points there, then crit, then you can, after getting the 5 points here, then you put 5 points here for the increased health regen and mana regen, because the mana regen is also useful. It's also the node that you should take into, always try to get above 50 intelligence at the very least, and mess with your stats so you always have 50 intelligence at all times, so you can maintain the double bonus here. So that's 48 regen and 24 mana regen instead of what it is there. Then we go here, Edict of the Scion. It gives us ward per rune on area skill use and hit. So whenever we hit, get that much mana. Yeah, we also are getting mana per ward per mana spent. But as you can see, those 60, about 60 we get. These are 30 something. Yeah, it should be 36. Are because of this node, which is quite nice, especially the one earlier on. Then we go for Decree of the Burning Wind. But you put 5 points here. Then would drop this and keep it at 5 and get all the points into Ancient Inscriptions. The most you can, so you can unlock it faster, because we'll actually want the cooldown recovery as well. Cooldown recovery will be good to help us boost the cooldown on Ancient Weapons, so we can have full uptime of it. And to get as much uptime of Ice Barrage as possible. Ideally we'd want it to have 4-second cooldown, but it is. Yeah, and then the linchpin. After that, we get that, and we're gonna get 4 points there to get more crit multi based on our ward. Essentially, it's the build. I don't think we have any more points. If you could find more points, I probably would have invested them here for the attack speed increase. Still not sure if the attack speed increase is better or the crit multi is better. That would have to be. That's it. That's per usual. Okay, that's bad. Then now gear. Here, as per usual, you'll have the planner. I'll just give you show you what I have currently, so you can have a context for the corruption video and the Abbey video. Well, we can start with the blessings first, because the blessings are gonna be the same if I remember right. Yeah, they are the same. You have crit multi on Raya. You can get crit chance if you don't have crit capped. It might be a DPS gain, or might not, then it will depend on your gear stats, whatever. All res, endurance, so you can cap out your endurance, which mine isn't yet. Then cold shred, and this is the big E one, increased regen and health and flat regen. This gives us a lot of damage and a lot of wards per second, and a lot of regen. So in summary. Okay, back to inventory. Idols. Idols, we are currently using the... it's not ideal. It is mostly what we could find, because we want to use resist and vitality idols, because we get the regen. That 5 flat regen is actually very good for us in terms of defensives and offensives. And then we can this helps us cap out our resist without having to worry too much. As you can see, my poison resist is not yet capped, because I don't have any idle slots without losing a lot of crit and or the frailty. So yeah, ideally I should be running. I don't think I had any proper poison resist / vitality, or poison resist something. It's only the vitality that you want on the top, because everything else is kind of meh. Or completely useless, like void resist, void penetration. You just use it for resists, and then we get a couple for crit multi. That's essentially it. Just bugging me. Better than this. Yeah, the idea is 3 humbles, and then 2 stouts. With some minors, which wouldn't be small weaver idols, would be minor weaver idols with armor on them and regen when we can, if we can afford. You don't need to resist. It all depends on what rolls you get and whatnot to have all your resists capped. Anyhow, leveled on. Let's go on to the gear proper. This is gonna be the gear we're gonna use, the helmet. We want to run an Exalted Rune Visage, and we wanted to hit health regen per second and increased health regen, dexterity, and intelligence. This is due to so we can have the 50 intelligence. That's why we have the 8 intelligence there, because this currently has intelligence. It's not supposed to have 57 intelligence. This is lucky that we have that ring, and well, we wanted the T7 regen, flat health and regen. But if you go for double T7, you'd want both T7s on regen probably. Now I'm not too sure, because it always depends, right? Because if you can eventually get the, imagine a triple T7, then you need to look at the stats you have and see what would be the best gain out of everything. It's all about stat balancing. Like if you would be over 3000 regen, maybe it's not that worth it and you could get something else. But anywho, we'll use a Quicksilver coil for now. You could also use red ring. It's just much more difficult to get red rings, and it's much more difficult to get it. It's not that easy to get it online on this build. Here we'll be running an exalted shield. Well, technically a set shield, because we want the Corsair. It gives us 5 dex, which means we can get 40% crit chance out of our shield, and that's with a T5 affix. Also 20% increased damage. It's mostly for the crit chance. And then block chance, all res, and crit damage reduction T7, so we get our crit capping mostly from our shield. Here you'd want T7 health regen, crit multi, armor shred, or flat health. But maybe armor shred. You could go with flat health. Flat health is probably better. It really depends, because this is a hardcore focused build, right? In softcore you can probably get away with the Jade Amulet, which I think I have done the planner. Like the aspirational is hardcore, use Inheritance. If you're doing softcore you can probably just use a Jade Amulet, an Exalted Jade Amulet with some good rolls on it, like flat regen, crit multi, cold penetration, stuff like that. And that will probably be better damage-wise, because while if you die on occasion, it's fine, right? And it also depends if you can balance it out with your health regen. It's always about balancing. Here we prioritize flat cold damage at 7, and then we add crit chance, armor shred, and cold penetration. As you can see, we are a bit far from that when it comes to the armor shred and cold penetration. We have, and those are going to be helping our damage quite a bit, especially the armor shred, because we have none currently. Here we use Siphon of Anguish. The reason why we use Siphon of Anguish is you're doing melee damage, so we ideally pair it up with Shattered Chains, which you don't have yet, to get 20% more damage. And we have the cooldown reduction and health regen. You would want a T7 cooldown recovery speed and T5 health regen on the Siphon. At the very least T5 health regen. You get more, all the better. So the combo would work. Here Quicksilver Coil, same thing as the Siphon. You want to slam T7 health and then T5 health regen, T7 health and health regen, and then T5 health regen. Or you can swap them around as well if you prefer. It is a bit more regen if you do it the other way around. I'm building this to have the most life possible because, again, hardcore. Same thing with the chest. You can completely forego the increased health in softcore and just shrug. Put the health regen and then try to get dexterity, for example, to get more damage. Now on the final tier, final this has 3 dex, increased health, regen T7, and increased health. You can also put crit damage reduction here, so you'd save a slot here. Here ideally melee attack speed, gauntlets obviously because of the flat armor and the bit of dot mitigation, but mostly for the flat armor. You want attack speed, dexterity, T7 health regen, and crit bonus reduction. Boots, Blood of the Exile, they have 2 very useful stats for us, dexterity and strength is also pretty useful because it gives us armor percent. So yeah, overall good boots. Then you want to slam it with T7 cooldown with recovery speed, and then if you can find 2 LP, movement speed. Again, all on the planner. And here, this is the tricky one. Early on, you want to prioritize. You have set shards as well. You can prioritize getting T7, T5 Shatter Lance instead of the increased health regen. But later on, you'd want T7. Well, you can get all of them T7, either of the 3. They will all provide good amounts of health regen. I just prioritize the flat health and regen again, because hardcore. But you can do either the set T7 or the health regen T7 or the flat health regen T7. That would imply Havocs for the set, so you can just seal the set, as I did, and put in increased and try to find increased health regen plus HP and HP. Or just again, there's lots of possibilities. I think if on the plan, if I remember right, I put in some options the T5 set. If you're lacking shards, or feel like that's not yet a definitive gear and want to go for more shards, you could just use like I did, use a single shard, seal it, and shrug. Ideally, you want the dexterity along with it and crit strike multi, because if you stack enough dexterity, you're gonna essentially crit cap yourself by just stacking dexterity. And then all the other slots you can use for crit multi where possible, unless you need the int to keep the 50 int, because that is 12% mana regen, helps you maintain mana, so you can just use mana strike with the invocation. Occasionally you might need to use mana strike. It's not ideal. I don't like it. So I try to always plop Runic Invocation in range to something to hit them with mana strike automatically and restore mana like that. So you don't have to deal with mana. Essentially. And I think we went over everything. Okay, so now we shall do a very quick DPS check. Just so you guys have an idea. DPS on this is not amazing. Again, we're missing armor shred, we're missing cold penetration, we're missing shattered chains. Just all of that is gonna give us quite a bit of damage that we are missing. But even then, the damage will not be all that amazing. Oh. So, let's go. We have a minute. When you don't hit something, if you keep hitting it like that, the mana ends up being restored most of the times. Because we are stationary, right? We are not moving or anything, we're just standing here spamming, so our mana does eventually run out. In combat, the mana generally does not run out. If you're moving, and by those little bits that you're moving, your mana regen kicks in and helps you get mana return. Seconds. Yeah, the barrage is going somewhere else where it's not supposed to be, but who cares? Not like it does that much damage. Later on, when you get armor shred, it's gonna be important. So we got like 1% of the damage. As you can see, the damage is really far from ideal. But we got to the last phase of Abberoth as is, so it's not that bad either. I don't know. You'll have the 320 corruption video and the Aberroth Attempt video after it, and you can take your conclusions. And then I'll show you the clip, the death as well. So, on to it again. Alright, as I was saying before, here we have our planner. As you can see, we're missing the armor shred, we're missing the concentration, we're missing the shatter chains. Just this is gonna be a pretty big damage increase, the armor shred, and the shatter chains. The melee attack speed is also going to be a pretty big increase. And then here it's only more defenses really. And yeah, more crit strike multi. We're still missing a lot of crit strike multi. Let's go over the damage. Here we have 306 total on the planner. Let's see what we have here. 184. Actually, not too far off. It's because I don't have crit multi. 7 crit multi here like I have there. But yeah. It might end up being more beneficial later. If you can get a bit more than 300 health regen, 1000 health regen, you could probably shift some health regen and shift the T7 into critical strike multiplier. Again, I built this very defensively, as you can see, hardcore. So I'm focusing more on defenses than on finding little bits of damage. Trying to get as much as max HP and wards per second as possible. So we can avoid one-shots. If you want to try and push it higher, you can probably start dropping defenses, start putting in more T7 crit multi, stuff like that, and you'll probably be doing way more damage than what we're doing currently. We have all of the usual things, pre-mastery. It's just an idea for you to follow in terms of stats, how you can go about it. This is how I leveled. I actually leveled this with the build, so I didn't use another thing and then swapped over. So I created this based on that. Actually, the idea is you stack so much regen, and if you have Shatter Lance tier 1s, you can just seal them in, or just put him there. There and on the dagger, on the sword. I think I have it here. Yeah, here I have it. You can put it up to tier 5. I just wanted to show you. You can put the set shards straight tier 5 because it ignores the level of the affix limitations, or at least it used to. So you can kind of abuse that to have way more damage early on before we start going into the end game, and you want, for example, to replace that health regen, the flat colds for crit chance. So we put that as sealed, and here you will eventually want to get more health regen because you're gonna benefit more because you'll have more flat regen than the 35% increased full damage, just because it gives you more overall regen, which means more ward as well. Okay, we have the melee switch, then the 35 with all the skills changes, and now you should prioritize the pathing. Monolith, and then we have end game with equipment. I only put here a couple of vials so you can understand what just using them to cap out resist. Here we have a few more because we couldn't cap resist without them. And if you're in doubt for idols, you can always check the final one, which will have the full idol set and everything else. Again, with the risk of sounding like a broken record, this is a hardcore based build, so everything will be focused more towards being tanky than damage. If you're playing softcore, you can very easily shift some of this into more damage, like for example here. The vitality the regen is very important, and the resistance, you're not gonna get them anywhere else. You can probably start shifting around some of the regen here and there. You lose a bit of increased damage, but if you can get more crit multi, that's more damage, probably. So yeah, and I think that's all I wanted to cover. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys on the next one, and right after we're gonna have the 320 corruption echo and the Aberroth Attempt. Bye bye. So here we are for another, well, the usual Monolith 300 corruption plus, so you have an idea of how the build plays. The usual. So very important, make sure you have those 3 symbols. get your viewing stingy going. I can't remember the name of the skill now. We'll go over it on. We would have gone over it on the first part of the video, so this is a matter of viewing Fortress. Damage is starting to fall off. We're lacking too much too. We needed way more stuff. Great multi, that needs to get more regen, more cold damage, also more ward. We are scaling most of our things off regen. Our damage, our scary. Hit me there. Oh, great, it's a champion. This is the thing that killed me the most. Not even champion, it's just possessed. I think possession is a tad bit overtuned, especially for hardcore. On softcore it's kind of whatever. Oh, you died on occasion. You just shrug. Always on hardcore where we only have one life. Like, this guy died 150 corruption. And then we went on corruption, we're now at 320. It's still for the most part fine. I mean, at 300 corruption I would expect to struggle with, considering my gear is not all that amazing and we're lacking basic stuff like armor shred. It doesn't surprise me. Still take hits. Nonetheless. Of course, I'm playing softcore this season. My things are in hardcore anyway. Yeah. Yeah, that is one echo with this build, this silly build. That's our gear, our current gear. It will be on a link below on the YouTube video on the description. So we're lacking a lot of stuff. Although we do have some nice rings. Well, this one. It's okay. We don't even have shattered shattered chains, which is 20% multiplier on our damage. So yeah. Alright, so let's go do proper testing of this build. And we shall see how bad it is or how good it is.
The altar of oblivion.
So you finally
because I mean, if this thing can somewhat... I'm not expecting to be able to kill Abberoth with this, as is. Just saying, just... free paraphrasing that, just checking how it feels. Alright, we are not poison capped. That might be a problem. Can you just do this? Hit him around. It's gonna be fine. We got past the Harveys, so it can't be that bad, right? No, I don't think I have enough DPS. I think that is the main problem currently. We don't have enough DPS for us to be able to deal with this properly. Plus, I'm not too good at mechanics with him. Come here, Abby. Come here. Come here, little doggo. Come here. That's it. That's it, little Abby. That's it.
You fight for nothing. The void hungers.
Investments wise, it seemed to be okay. But damage is just bad. Don't he have changed phase already? Or do we need to break the ward?
Terror turned her back on us.
It also doesn't help that I don't have armor shred. That also doesn't help. You're in the line.
The void comes. The gods tore our world apart. They deserve their
Like, how long is this fight gonna take? And I walked right into the other one. Man, I just like this fight on how much crap you have to dodge. I should probably try to get used to WSC. Just for this fight, it would probably feel so much better when you can find move like that. Yeah, defensive wise, it's fine for Abby. I mean, you can clear these puddles, right?
We treated the world no better. Death is our legacy. Die.
stand here, we can dodge that. Good to know. We're not dodging that. I didn't see him do that thing. I have to keep the puddles more or less in the same area so we can avoid this area in the future. I think they might have slowed him down a bit. Yeah, I think he slowed him down significantly.
Fight for nothing. The void hungers. Fools. Fools.
I don't know what hit me there. Oh, there's fire there. There was just too much stuff to dodge. Like you so rabbit to I know he's mechanics inside out. Sorry. But I mean, again, this build shouldn't have died at 150 corruption, right? This is the point. This is the point I wanted to make. What?